Hi guys, welcome back to Music Makes Me Dance. My name is Natasha Williams and I'm hosting the podcast today. If you've tuned into the other episodes, I'd like to thank you guys. We are now on episode 3. All right, so today's episode is going to focus on festivals. And there's been a lot of other events since the last time you guys tuned in. There's been Ultra Music Festival here in Miami. There's been Coachella over in California, and there was UFC 300, which was also a big event. Today's kind of going to focus more on festivals, primarily Ultra, because I did a deep dive into the history of Ultra, which was actually really fun. It took me hours and hours searching stuff because there's so much music and so many artists. So I've got like a lot of cool stuff for you guys today. All right, let's get started. So, Ultra Music Festival. I don't know if any of you guys ever been. A lot of people go to Ultra. It's a huge festival. It is mostly electronic music, so EDM, electronic dance music, but they have had other artists go to or perform at Ultra in the past. So we're going to go over some of the past lineups and stuff because there's been some really cool people that have performed at Ultra. And I just kind of found DJs that have been at all the Ultras that maybe people don't know so much because they weren't the well-known DJs, but they've had steady lineup at Ultra for all of them. And then there's other ones that hit big, and then they're the big headliners for the event. So I kind of wanted just to talk about all things Ultra. Ultra started in 1999. There's a couple other festivals that are pretty old as well that they started in the 90s. So far from my research, the first one would have been EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival. So EDC started 1991 and they did it in warehouses in Los Angeles. And since then it's blown up, and now they have Orlando, they have Vegas, they have a whole bunch of different events that you can go to. So EDC, I think, is one of the first festivals. I have to check back different genres of music, but that's what I found. Other big EDM music festivals, Ultra, like I said. There's also Tomorrowland, and then there's different festivals that showcase different music, which I'm going to list later on to give you guys what's coming up in case you want to check out any festivals or you're traveling to any city and you are thinking that it might be fun to check out some live music. So let's talk about Ultra right now. Ultra started in 1999 and it started in Miami Beach. That was the first ever Ultra that they did. If you see that first flyer, it feels like 90s. You can kind of tell based on the artwork of that particular flyer. You can kind of see the progression of when it started, and it was a smaller festival, and then it grew, and now we're in 2024. So next year is 25 years of Ultra, so they're for sure going to do a big event. They did have a little pre-sale that went on sale right after this past Ultra happened, and then they're definitely going to drop tickets again. They're going to be tier 2. Tier 2 means that they're a little bit more expensive. I'll talk about that later, but they have basically when tickets go on sale for these festivals, depending on when you buy them, is what price that you're actually going to pay for that ticket. Back to Ultra. I did a lot of research actually on the lineup and like who's been performing for such a long time at all of them, where they were. Some people you can see where they started and they were lower, and then as they progressed through their careers they went up higher on the headlining at what time you perform. With music festivals, the newer artists or the less known ones are usually earlier in the day, and then the headliners obviously are going to be at night. And you can always see that on those flyers. The flyers always have the top person at the top, and then they'll have the smaller ones. I'm hoping you'll see pictures here. We'll see. I'm gonna do an edit with photos, and then we'll see. If you see photos, that means YouTube said yes. If not, then we gotta look. 1999. Here is who was performing at Ultra. Number 1 headliner, Rabbit in the Moon. If you have not heard Rabbit in the Moon and you like EDM music, you have to listen to Rabbit in the Moon. The only thing I found is that Spotify doesn't have everything for certain artists, especially some of the older ones where obviously there was no Spotify, there was only CDs. There's a time where you had to buy a CD, you had a CD player, and that's what you got. Music's nice now because you have so many options and you can really kind of find whatever you want. For us, I decided to make playlists. So in the description of the video, you're actually going to see list of playlists. So I'm working on those, and then by the time when you see this, they should be done, hopefully. And then I'll keep editing if they're not done, but they're gonna be there. And they're gonna be through my Spotify account, which I just changed to Music Makes Me Dance. I gotta double check how you guys search to find me, but you can follow me. And then I'm just gonna create a bunch of cool playlists, and then you guys can use them at parties or when you're driving in traffic in Miami, or when you just, you need to find some new music, or if any of you guys use them for work, if you're a dance teacher or something like that, and you need music for classes or music for workout classes. Some of these EDM songs are great for workouts, because when I was making these playlists, I was doing it at the gym, because then I have time. You're on the stepper and you're listening to music. So I did find some good songs that are great for working out, because you need kind of that like same beat, because it's a little bit easier if you're running or doing cardio. Anyways, I digress. I'm definitely making playlists for us, both of us, because I'm gonna use it too. I say both of us, but I'm hoping it's me and a lot of you now watching the podcast. All right, so skeet. Back to Ultra 1999. So I have a list. I'm gonna read off who was on that lineup. Rabbit in the Moon, Hybrid, LTJ Buchan, Sam Mollison, SCB Fontaine, Armin van Helden. Armin van Helden's got some good songs, actually. And I found, it's on the playlist. I found a song. It's on one of his first, I don't know if it's the EP, one of the first albums that he has. And he has Common on it. And then Common actually samples a Big Pun song in his lyrics. It's really cool. That's a really good one. You guys got to check it out. But it'll be on the playlist, so you can find it. Then Danny Rampling, AK1200, who you're gonna see they've been at Ultra for a while. Union Jack, Dimitri of Holland, not to be confused with Dimitri of Vegas, who's out now. Dimitri of Holland is from older generation. So there's two Dimitris. And then Josh Wink, been around for a while. And then Steve Lawlett. So some I know better than others, but they're definitely going to be on that playlist. Some of them that are not on the playlist, it's because they're just not on Spotify. And so let me see if I can do maybe a YouTube playlist too. So you guys, when you're on my channel, some of those songs you could find. Or I'll find some live. Some live performances might be kind of cool for these podcasts. So you guys can check out the live shows for them. All right, so 1999, it was Miami Beach. One day. It was one day. It was Saturday. It was the whole day. And that was the first Ultra. Then we keep going through. Now it happens every year, obviously, except when COVID happened. Ultra year 2000 was also held at the beach. So those are the only two that they did actually on the beach, which is, it's cool. But space-wise, I could see obviously why they had to eventually move it. But they did do it on the beach. That second year, Rabbit in the Moon headlined again. Then we have John Dickweed, who you're going to see at multiple Ultras. I mean, for years. I think even the last one. And then we have Sasha, who those two actually did a lot of duos. So they had a lot of slots in various Ultras throughout the years that they actually performed together, which is cool. Now there's a really big back-to-back. Like, that's the whole thing now, where you got two DJs and it'll say that DJ's name and it'll say B2B and the other DJ's name. That means it's back-to-back. And then they're basically DJing together and they'll kind of rotate songs. It's cool. That's cool when they do that. Sometimes they set it up before. I hear people complaining like, oh, it's not live, but it is. I'm not really mad if you do it before. It is a little complicated to have that back-to-back. But anyways, it's really cool. That's a newer thing. But I did notice that John Dickweed and Sasha partnered up. You'll see later on when they're together on the list. We have Paul Van Dyke, 2000. Paul Van Dyke is still DJing. A lot of these guys are still DJing, doing shows everywhere. So it's so cool to have seen him from 2000, because this is 24 years ago. It's a long time. Then let's see. They also have Dave Seaman, Ronnie Size, Josh Wink, again, Georgia Costa, DJ Icy has been a regular for a long time. Never headlined, but has been at pretty much every single Ultra. DJ Icy's really good. West Bam, and again, Dimitri of Holland. So like you're seeing Certain festivals kind of keep certain people that they use at each one. You'll see this with Rolling Loud. Coachella switches it up. So they don't have kind of like the same vibe. Coachella's very different where they just change artists, like each year is different, and they do the 2 weekends. Ultra kind of has their group and then they rotate other DJs, as you'll see. We're moving on. Let's say, so then once we hit to 2001, it switches to Bayfront. The Bayfront Park is Miami by Bayside. It's actually close to the Coachella Center. The Coachella Center is the venue that I talked about in the second podcast with Travis Scott, because they do a lot of events there. It's where the Miami Heat play. For Ultra, they took it to Bayfront Park, not using that venue for the actual Ultra event, although they do use it for an after party in one of the other Ultras. Actually, the one that I went to, which we're gonna get to that. So they did it Bayfront, which is basically next to the Coachella Center, and then it's on the south side of Bayside. So you have Coachella Center, Bayside, and then the whole Ultra happens. They usually close off the streets and all that. That's where we start with 2001. And then they do have stages at this point. So you have main stage. They had what they called Gate Crasher, Subliminal Tent, Drum and Bass Arena, World of Drum and Bass, Electro Kingdom. So now you see festivals do have stages with names. Some festivals, names are based on their sponsors. So you'll see, I don't know, Red Bull stage or one specific to an alcohol. They'll have a different, whoever sponsors basically that stage, so they'll call it that. So you have different names basically for the different stages. Main stage becomes a staple, and that's gonna be always at Ultra. They're gonna have a main stage, and then the other names kind of changed. I did notice more toward the beginning there was a lot of drum and bass, especially because that was very big in those back from the 90s into the early 2000s. Drum and bass was really, really big. So they did have multiple drum and bass stages. Now they don't do that as much. Now it's usually one. It depends, but typically one. 2002, lineup is a little bit different. No Rabbit in the Moon, but we have the Crystal Method, another awesome group. You should definitely check them out. Paul Oakenfold started early. That's early. 2002, Paul Oakenfold still doing events. Then Paul Van Dyke again. We now introduce Tiesto. So Tiesto's first Ultra was 2003. And he just did this last one, which was super good. You guys have to check it out. The good thing about the more recent Ultras is that they have that live stream. With the live stream, you can go back and check out a bunch of them. I really wish that they had this for the ones that I went to, because then I could see it, but they don't have them. They started, I don't know, actually, I have to check. Not for the first one I went. They definitely had it for the ones later. I have to double check what years they start, but you can go to Ultra Music Festival on YouTube. I'll probably put that link I'll put it in the description as well. And then you can check it out. And then there's gonna be videos of everything. It's awesome. In 2002, No Rabbit in the Moon switches up to Crystal Method, Paul Oakenfold, who you've seen for a while now. Carl Cox jumps in, and then eventually this is the first one that he jumps in, and then eventually he has his whole own, like Carl Cox and Friends, and he has his own tent or structure basically that is devoted to that. And then he had a long run through Ultra. I think this was this most recent one. It was the only one that he did not have a spot, but he's actually currently doing Resistance, which is a new club that opened in Miami. I said Crystal Method, Paul Oakenfold, Carl Cox, Paul Van Dyke, Tiesto, Goldie, BT. BT starts popping up now. 2002 is wild. They had Del the Funky Homo Sapien. If you don't know who that is, he's part of, Gorillaz. He was on that Clint Eastwood song. So Gorillaz did work with him. So it's really kind of dope that he was at that Ultra. And then we have Deep Dish and Oscar G. You start seeing Oscar G pop up. He's another really famous DJ. 2003. Let's see, Ultra had Rabbit in the Moon back, but they had Underworld headlining. Underworld's good. Paul Van Dyke, Tiesto. This is the first one that you see Sasha and John Digweed on the same. So they're doing a duo there, and they kind of did that for a while. Junkie XL. Junkie XL is awesome. Definitely check them out. Definitely check them out. Georgia Costa. There's Christopher Lawrence. Planet B. It's another good one. Again, Dimitri of Holland and DJ Icy. The stages for these so far, you have main stage, right? In 2003, they call them Ultra Dance Set, BBC Radio 1, Space 34 Arena, Drum and Bass Arena, so they kept that going, the CoolJunkie.com. They had the Florida Breaks tent, and they had the beach stage. So name switching a little bit for the stage. On my playlist, it's gonna be UMF, Ultra Music Festival, and then the year. So I have UMF 99, I'll do UMF 2000 or 01, 02, and then I'll have them in order of lineup. And I'm also putting the albums that would have come out when those artists were performing. So it's gonna be specific to that time period. So for example, like my 1999 Ultra playlist, that we've got Rabbit in the Moon, Hybrid, that one that has Armin van Helden, AK-1200. It's basically gonna have whatever albums they came out prior to that event. So you kind of get a taste of what was actually playing during that time, because a lot of these DJs are still producing music, so you can find stuff all the way to 2024. So I just kind of wanted to keep it specific to the time period for you guys. I think it's kind of cool. It takes you back. All right, let's jump ahead. Ultra is still happening at Bayfront Park. They have not switched the venue yet. In 2004, they did, it was a little bit different. They had the Chemical Brothers, awesome. They have Rabbit in the Moon again, Paul Oakenfold, Paul Van Dyke, Tiesto, Sasha, John Dickweed, Eric Murillo. They had Tommy Lee did drum and DJ set at that Ultra. That must have been awesome. I don't know if there's footage of that. Maybe we can find it. If we find it, I'll put it on a playlist. Also, Boy George was at that Ultra. And we have Junkie XL, Edgar V, you start seeing, Oscar G, DJ Craze from Miami. He is awesome. I remember checking him out when he was first coming up, kind of around this time, because it was going out at this time. He was a great DJ. He always had everybody dancing in the club. A lot of mixed with hip hop, which was really fun to have at these festivals, because sometimes you're listening to EDM, you kind of want to switch it up. His mixes for hip hop are awesome. And then you saw again AK-1200, Icy, Miss Kitten, love Miss Kitten. And I also found that Chromeo, one of my favorites. I didn't even know them then, that's crazy. Chromeo is absolutely awesome, absolutely awesome. LCD Sound System, also good, and The Rapture. 2004, a little bit of a mix, kind of added a little more people in it. 2005, still Bayfront. The names, Eco Village pops up. Eco Village is still happening, so they kept that name for a while. They had the Amphitheater, the Soundstage, Subliminal Sessions, DJ Breakthrough Tent. They had one called Be Yourself, Drum and Bass Arena, and then that's 2005 is when they first started the Carl Cox, where he had his own setup there at Ultra, and then he basically had an 18-year run. It's a long time. And they had Moby at this one, Rabbit in the Moon, Crystal Method, Armin van Buuren, Paul Van Dyke, Paul Oakenfold, Tiesto, Infected Mushroom. Infected Mushroom's good. They're good. Edgar V, Planet B, Eric Bonillo, and DJ Craze, DJ Icy. You start seeing these repeats, right? You see DJ Icy's kind of at all of them. We're still one day. So Ultra is still one day. I'll do another podcast to kind of dive deep into EDC and Coachella. I think Coachella started as one day also. Let's see. No? 2. Coachella was 2 days to start. And then I imagine that EDC was one day because, let's see, when they started. I think they also started as one, and then it became 2 days. I'll have to dive deep into EDC because I didn't do the research on that one yet and see when they jumped into 2 days. But anyways, Ultra 2005, still one day. 2006, this is the year I went. It was so good. Ultra's so good. So 2006 was the last year that Ultra was one day. I remember, and it started early. It would start at 11. It would be 11 to 12. Oof, so that's a long day. But when it's one day, it's okay. When they do multiple, sometimes they start a little bit later. Rolling Loud starts later. They start at 4. They used to start earlier, pre-COVID, and then after they start a little bit later. So each festival kind of depends. The ones that do Friday definitely start more in the afternoon than the weekend ones. The Prodigy was headlining for this Ultra. Prodigy, amazing. One of their members passed away, but definitely check out their album, Super Drum and Bass. It's awesome. Prodigy's good to dance, good to work out, good work for whatever. Prodigy's awesome. That same Ultra, Paul Oakenfold, also had The Killers. I love The Killers. I've seen them a bunch of times. I'll definitely do an episode talking about everything with The Killers. But they were at that Ultra, which is pretty wild. They would have been at the live stage, although I don't even think they had one called Live Stage. Oh, no, they did. They had a main stage, live, techno, house tent, Carl Cox and Friends, UMF Collective. They kept up for a little bit. Florida Favorites, Eco Village. See, Eco Village still happening. Ultra New Times, Breakbeats 1, 2, and then they had Drum and Bass Arena 1 and 2. So I told you, like, drum and bass was really, really big back then. So they definitely have more stages that had that particular type of music. They had Paul Van Dyke, Hot Hot Heat, Hard Fi, Eric Murillo, Junkie XL, Infected Mushroom, Planet B. All those were at that 2006 Ultra. It was a really good Ultra. You can see footage because I checked, and there is footage for Prodigy. I think The Killers too for 2006, but it's from people's phones. It's not the actual Ultra, so it's not as nice as the ones now. So you could just catch videos from people's phones for those shows. It's still cool to check it out. It's wonderful. Ultra's so much fun. Such a good event to go to. The last one that I went to was in 2013. So it was already a while ago. I have to go to another one again because it's just been a little bit. I switched off and was doing Rolling Loud for a while, so I haven't gone to an Ultra in a long time. Always watch the live stream though. Always. Once they started that, the live stream's amazing. You can see all the shows. You could pretty much have an Ultra party at your house and just play that live stream. You can do it for Coachella also and Rolling Loud. They all do live streams. Ooh, Tomorrowland as well. Check those out because it's fun. Watching the live stream's awesome if you can't make it. It's really good. It's not the same, but it's still pretty good. That 2006 Ultra did something different that they have not done since. And they did Carry On, and it was at the American Airlines. So after Ultra, they actually had a whole concert event at the American Airlines Arena, which is now called the Kaseya Center. So I would say American Airlines, but it was called that for a long time. And started at 11 p.m. and I don't know, who knows what time, 1 to 4 or 5 in the morning, which is crazy to think because at stadium, they usually don't do events that late there. And I remember if you watched episode 2, I talked about how they actually stopped selling food and drinks after a certain point, typically 9:30, 10 o'clock, depends on the event. So it's kind of crazy that they did that Carry On there. And then that Carry On was Rabbit in the Moon, Danny Tenaglia, and The Orb. So Rabbit in the Moon was, because they didn't perform at the actual Ultra. It was Prodigy and it was Paul Oakenfold and The Killers, and they had that other lineup that I talked about. So Rabbit in the Moon then had that after party at the American Airlines Arena. That's kind of crazy. I didn't go to that. I did have friends that went to that. So they did Ultra and then they went to the Carry On after. We actually went to Soho Lounge. Oh, Peachy. This is my cat. Guys, say hi. She came to say hello. That's Peachy. Hey, Peachy. Okay, maybe she might sit on my lap. Oh, she's gonna get mad. Oh boy. Maybe she'll just sit here. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, if you're from Miami and you're around the same age, you probably went to Soho Lounge, which was this awesome club. It was off of 36th Street and Biscayne, a little bit west. So it wasn't like right on that corner. There's a Denny's there actually. There's a Denny's and there's a gas station across the street. But if you kept going down 36th Street heading west, it would have been on the right-hand side. And everybody went to Soho Lounge. It was one of the best dance clubs. It was giant. They had Peachy, you're gonna have to move. They had multiple rooms. This is super sidetracked, but anyways, if anybody went there, you remember. You walked in. They had a room to the right that I recall it having a checker floor. It looked like a diner where the bar was in the middle and they had booths. Then that was to the right. You could also go straight and go upstairs, which was that room we probably went to the most because it was a big dance room. And then there was one to the left, and then there was another one that you kept walking through. which is actually the one that we partied in after that Ultra. And I remember having that disco ball in there, and there wasn't really a lot of people, so it was kind of our own personal party. And that club had the upstairs. So if any of you remember Soho Lounge, I wish there was footage and stuff, but there wasn't so many cameras back then. But we had a good time. It was one of the few clubs that was 18 and over, so a lot of college kids went. And it was awesome. They played great dance music. There was 80s, there was hip hop. Each room had different music going on. It was back when clubs had a lot of different rooms. They don't have that as much anymore. But they used to have big venues, and they'd have multiple rooms. So you could go to one club and kind of listen to everything you wanted to. You could have EDM. You could just walk down the hall, and then you have hip hop. You can walk over here. I mean, they had R&B, and then they'd have all kinds of different music in one spot, which I used to love. They don't have those big clubs as much anymore. Ultra 2007 made it to 2-day festival. So now they officially switched it from 1 day to 2 days, and Ultra did Friday, Saturday, whereas Coachella always did Saturday, Sunday. And the Friday would start typically around 4 till midnight, sometimes 1. Now this lineup's kind of cool. You had on day 1, headlining was The Cure. So they kind of threw it back there. Tiesto again. And then Tiesto pretty much after that headlines every Friday at Ultra for a while. You're going to see as we kind of keep going through. Then Miss Kitten, one of my favorite artists. There's this album called Ultra 80s versus Electro that's got awesome mixes. I'm going to throw that in there too so you guys can see. And that just, someone has that album out on Spotify, so you can just kind of ride through that whole album. That one's cool because they made it to mix through, you know, those albums that mix from one song to the other, and it doesn't skip that track, so you just kind of hear it as one whole playlist. They did that with it. Was cool. Then also, let's see, Junkie XL, Deep Dish, Digitalism, Boys Noise. You start seeing it, Mastercraft. So you've got some people that now you start seeing, they're still around now. And then day 2, headlining was Paul Van Dyke, Eric Murillo, Sasha and Dickweed. Again, you see that duo. Ooh, Rabbit in the Moon was again on that Saturday. Interference, Pendulum, Information Society is another good one. Fatboy Slim, Carl Cox brought him, so he was part of that. That's how Josh Wink and Yosef. So that was a pretty good lineup for 2007. My cat's here. She's like ready to. Every time I move my hands, she's trying to get me. Peachy. So 2008, headlining. This is a wild one. Tiesto, Justice. You have got to listen to Justice if you have not heard. Justice is awesome. Awesome, awesome. They have a great remix of an MGMT song. Love MGMT. If you don't know who they are, you need to listen. They're awesome. MGMT is great. They did a remix for Electric Feel, if you know that song. That's the one in the video where Kid Cudi's dancing at Coachella with MGMT, Electric Feel. Justice did a remix to that song. It is fantastic. And if you know Justice, they have a particular sound. So whenever they do a remix for a song, I mean, you right away, you're like, oh, it's a Justice remix. It's awesome. Justice is great. So they were at that day 1, Friday. The Bravery. I don't know if you guys... Uh-oh. This is what's happening right now. Peachy! Uh-oh. But you're stuck... Ow! Oh. She scratched me. Why are you so mad? I'm trying to do the podcast. Give me a second. Okay, she's gone. Where was I? The Bravery. The Bravery is an indie rock band. They came out in, I think 2005 was their first album. 2003. Maybe I think it was 2005. But their big song was An Honest Mistake. Love the Bravery. Love them. I saw them live. Ooh, they're on here. I have the lead singer's autograph. They opened for Incubus. The Bravery's an awesome band. They have a couple albums that are really, really good. So that's kind of cool that they were at that Ultra. So you have the Bravery, Eric B, Junkie XL. Oh, Eric Pride's Junkie XL. Dead Mouse. Dead Mouse appears. 2008 Ultra. We have Dead Mouse. Then let's see, Carl Cox again, Josh Wink, Rabbit in the Moon. Now you see Rabbit in the Moon was headlining, but as years go, they sometimes are not at the top because there's newer DJs out now, but still super consistent. Rabbit in the Moon is at a lot of Ultras, the Crystal Method, BT. Then day 2, Underworld headlined. You had Paul Van Dyke, Eric Murillo, Armin van Buuren. Armin van Buuren just just performs at this last Ultra. So Armin van Buuren's been around for a while. Barry Corsten, Pete Tong, Sander Van Dorn, Union Jack, Calvin Harris. 2008, you see Calvin Harris pop up. Moby again, David Guetta, Ed Legrand. That's another, he's at a few Ultras as well. Actually, I forgot to tell you guys. The year I went, 2006, they switched from Bayfront Park to Bicentennial Park. Bicentennial Park is pretty much next door. So you're on the same street. It's actually a little bit smaller, but they switched it to that. I don't know why. Something must have happened with contract or something like that. But anyways, they switched in 2006. So the year that I went was not at Bayfront. It was at Bicentennial. And then they kept it there for, I'll tell you when they switch it back to Bayfront, but not yet. All right, 2009, Tiesto again. See, Friday, Tiesto. Black Eyed Peas. So you have Fergie, will.i.am. If you guys don't know Black Eyed Peas, they're in that. They had come out with a whole group. They have good songs. They have good party songs. And then one of my favorite indie bands, this is another one. It's cool that they were at Ultra, Block Party. Block Party is from London, and they're awesome band. Banquet's one of my favorite songs. That first album's awesome. Hunting for Witches, that second. There's so many good albums. Oh, if we could do a whole episode about Block Party. Love Block Party. I went to see them. I only saw them one time, and it was in New York. I bought tickets just to go see them because they had come one time to Miami. I was in college at the time, was at FIU, and I couldn't go to the event. I had a final the next day. I should have gone to the concert, but anyways, I didn't. But I did get to see Block Party a few years later. That would have been, I don't know when they came, maybe 05, 06. But then I did get to see them later. I think I saw them in 2008 in New York City at Webster Hall. Anyway, so they were at that Ultra. Carl Cox, David Guetta, Pendulum, Deadmau5, Santa Gold. Ooh, I love Santa Gold. If you have not heard Santa Gold, definitely check out the albums for Santa Gold. So good. I've seen Santa Gold live a couple times. Prodigy again for day 2. Paul Van Dyke, Carl Cox, Armin van Buuren, Moby. So like I said, you're seeing kind of the same people. 2010, same thing. We have other 2 days. They have the main stage. They have Carl Cox and Friends. They had a Space UMF Ibiza stage. They had what they call the Biscayne stage. They had Root Society Dome, UMF Radio stage. They still have that one. Eco Village, and then UMF Collective. 2-day festival. Friday, Tiesto headlines. We had David Guetta, Groove Armada, Passion Pit. Passion Pit's good too. They had Carl Cox, Eric Price, Crystal Method, Disco Biscuits, will.i.am. will.i.am, like I said, is from Black Eyed Peas, so now will.i.am had a solo slot for this one. Infected Mushroom. Day 2 headline Deadmau5. And now, Swedish House Mafia, first Ultra that they were at, 2010. Armin van Buuren again, Carl Cox, Nas. We have hip-hop. Hip-hop slid into Ultra. So Nas is at the 2010 Ultra, day 2, Saturday. Eric Murillo, Sasha, and John Dickweed. Above and Beyond, first one I see them at. And Paul Oakenfold, of course. Paul Oakenfold's legend. That was the end of the 2-day festival. In 2011, Ultra turned into a 3-day festival. So now they are doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tiesto headlining Friday. Duran Duran, they brought it back for that one. Carl Cox, Pendulum. Day 2 headlines is Deadmau5. You have Underworld. Ooh, Empire of the Sun. Empire of the Sun is amazing. So good. So good. Yeah, named after that movie. But check out their albums. I'll drop it in the playlist for sure. I'll put all these guys and I'll just connect it to Spotify. Hopefully you guys have Spotify. You just click and listen to some new music. Let's see. Ooh, Moby, Cascade. Now you start seeing Cascade pop up. Cascade is a bunch of Ultras. Cut Copy, super good. Afrojack. Afrojack now starts going to a bunch of Ultras. We have Sasha, Boys Noise. And then day 3, they had Chemical Brothers, David Guetta, Armin van Buuren, Disco Biscuits, will.i.am. Same kind of vibe. So Ultra starts, keeping similar groups. You build this fan base, and then you're kind of excited to go see your people. I told you, I love seeing artists more than one time. It's awesome. See their new music. They'll do old songs. It's really fun. And we're back to Bayfront Park. This is the one. So 2012. Oh, actually, I went to 2010 Ultra. I think I just went on a Friday. Let me see. Yeah, 2010. I did go on that Friday. Ooh, you know who was there too? LMFAO. I didn't write it down on here, but I saw them. I think Felix the House Cat was there too, actually. Felix the House Cat, one of my faves. That's my cat's not Peachy, not the one you just saw. Felix, another cat. I don't know what it is. Maybe Felix is here. Hold on. Let me introduce you. Semi-named after Felix the House Cat, semi-named after Felix the Cat, the cartoon. But let me get him. Hold on. Hey, Felix. Do you want to say hi? Come. Yeah. Mom's doing a podcast. Here. Say hi to the people. This is my big, beautiful cat, Felix. Hey, Papa. Yeah? He's a big boy. He's so cute. Right? You're so cute. Let me put him down for you. Oof. Felix the cat. All right, Felix the House Cat. He's awesome. He's one of my favorite DJs. One of my favorite. I like house music a lot. It's really good. Okay, moving on. So we did, let's see, 2011. There are 3 days. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. 2012. Sick lineup. Okay. Friday. Who's headlining? Tiesto. All right, so you have Tiesto, Kraftwerk, Carl Cox, Skrillex. Skrillex has appeared on the Ultra lineup. I know, you're like, wow, it's right. There were so many people before. It's crazy. Mike Snow's good. Pretty Lights. They had New Order. That's another throwback. Groove Armada. Dirty South. You start seeing Dirty South pop up now a lot. Nicky Romero, Michael Woods, Wolfgang Gardner. Start seeing him pop up. Madeon. In 2012, Madion's good. Madion's really good. See Madion. Not at Ultra, at just like their own event. Day 2. For 2000, they had Justice, Avicii, Fatboy Slim, M83. Love M83. Love. Laid Back Luke, super good. Ooh, Flux Pavilion and Dr. P, and they did that back to back. So this is one of the first ones that officially is written as like back to back. And it was Flux Pavilion and Dr. P. They did it a couple times. A-Track, awesome. Borgore, awesome. Little Dragon, Hardwell. Hardwell's at the bottom here. And now Hardwell is at like headlines. So that's really cool to see. Dad's Sick, Andy C, Zed's Dead. Zed's crazy to see. Close to the bottom, Scream. You have now Dimitri Vegas popped up. Remember I talked about Dimitri from Holland and Dimitri Vegas. 12th Planet. 12th Planet is good. Dylan France is good. And Zed. And it's crazy to see that all these guys are toward the bottom. And then now later on you're going to see how they kind of slide up to the top for the lineup. This Ultra is so good that also Keys and Crates, Subtract, all these Big Gigantic, Cedric Gervais, all these guys were like at the bottom. And like I love Keys and Crates. Keys and Crates, if you go to their YouTube, their page, they have, when they did their live mixes of some of their tracks, it is so good to watch. You have to go check it out. It's really good. Keys and Crates. Go to their page. David Guetta headlined that one. Armin van Buuren, Cascade, Bass Nectar. Bass Nectar was at that one. Chase and Status. So this is 2012, guys. It's already 12 years since that. Knife Party, Magnetic Man. I remember Magnetic Man. I did go to 2012. Ultra 2013, they did 2 weekends for this one. It's the only time they ever did 2 weekends. I kind of wish they still did 2 weekends, but just to kind of list really fast. Day 1 has Swedish House Mafia, Afrojack, Fed Legrand, Nicky Romero, Fatboy Slim, Carl Cox, John Digweed, Jamie Jones, Cassie, Crystal Castles, Boys Noise, Paul Van Dyke, ATB, Dubfire, DJ Icy. DJ Icy's steady through all the Ultras. Day 2 had Deadmau5, Cascade, Hardwell, Porter Robinson, Madeon, Flux Pavilion, versus Dr. P, which is another back-to-back, Borgore, That's Sick, Infected Mushroom, Pretty Lights, Ye Sayer, Thievery Corporation, Disclosure's good. Benny Benassi, Laid Back Luke, Dirty South, Bingo Players. Day 2 was pretty fire. Day 3, Armin van Buuren headlined it. They had Above and Beyond, Bass Nectar, Zed, Steve Aoki now. You see Steve Aoki pop in. Wolfgang Gardner, Tommy Trash, Artie, Classics. I like Classics too. They have some good songs. David Guetta, Tiesto, Avicii, you now see, because you hadn't seen him at an Ultra. Eric Prydz, Alesso, Buka Shade we start seeing too. The Weeknd, Snoop Dogg, Major Lazer. That is the one that I went to. So I actually went to that and I saw Major Lazer. So it was Diplo, Major Lazer. That was an epic concert. epic. Ultra at Bicentennial Park, different setup than Ultra at Bayfront. The cool thing at Bayfront is they have the amphitheater, which they hold their own concerts all the time and different events at that amphitheater. It's really nice. It's outside, you're close to the water, and it's got regular seats that you can reserve, and then it has a lawn section. It also has a little roundabout in the back, and then typically for events they have vendors and all kinds of stuff, and you can walk around, and it's a great venue. I love it. But when they have Ultra at this particular venue, they have that amphitheater open. So I got to see Snoop Dogg, Major Lazer back to back, but you got to get seats, which was kind of awesome because if you go with people, you have some seats. If you need to use a restroom, you actually have your spots. You can go use a restroom, you can come back, and you don't have to worry about the crowd or being smushed. So if that's a thing and you kind of want a little bit more space and you want to go to Ultra, they do have that amphitheater, and so you can actually sit down and watch, or you can put yourself in the grass. The main stage is different, but they do have, it's typically, they use it for the live stage. So if there's any artists you want to see there, I really love that Ultra has that set up because you can sit down like a regular concert. It's really nice. I realized that lineup, Adventure Club, Cruella, they were all the way at the bottom. Adventure Club is so good. One of my favorites. Cruella also. Definitely check it out. I'll drop it in the playlist for sure. That 2013 playlist is going to be awesome. All right, the weekend too. So you have a whole other weekend. This one's super stacked also. They had Tiesto, Avicii, Eric Brides, Rehab, super good. Luciano, Carl Cox, Adam Bear, Yosef. Let's see, Boys Noise, Sleigh Bells, Afrojack, Cascade. You have a DJ Icy again. Day 2, they had Dead Mouse, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, Fatboy Slim, Laid Back Luke, Rusko. Love Rusko. There's some good songs. Cedric Gervais, Carl Cox, Hot Chip, Buka Shade, Ye Sayer, Thievery Corporation, Disclosure, Borgore. That's a good lineup. Flux Pavilion, Dr. P, Sub Focus. Oof, so that's the first one I see them at. Sub Focus is awesome. They were at this last Ultra. Awesome. Killing it. Zed's Dead, Cruella, Andy C, Kill the Noise, 12th Planet. That's sick. So that dubstep or drum and bass arena was really good for this one. Dylan Francis, DJ Craze, Green Lantern, Carnage. Love Carnage. Carnage Down goes by Gordo. Carnage is awesome. So awesome. There's so many songs that I like. I'm going to drop that in that mix for sure. And then that last day for Ultra, they had Swedish House Mafia, Alesso, Dirty South, Sandra Van Dorn, Bingo Players, Paul Van Dyke, Ferry Corsten, Armin Van Buren, Above and Beyond, Crystal Castle, Snoop Dogg again, Major Lazer. So they did that back to back. Oh, it was awesome when I saw Major Lazer. This lineup's so sick. They had Knife Party, Hardwell, Steve Aoki, Porter Robinson, Zed. They had MGMT. They had MIA. MIA is awesome. Basement Jacks, yes. Chance the Rapper, Waka Flocka, Kill the Noise, 12th Planet. So that one, they went a little bit off by having Waka Flocka and MIA and MGMT. Waka Flocka's good live. Seen him live. Saw him actually at Revolution. That was a good show. I have videos of that one. I wonder if I can put some of those up for you guys. They're so good. That was the last year that Ultra did that 2 weekend. Then from then on, they went back to the 1 weekend, and you have the 1, 2, 3 days. 2014, kind of similar lineups, right? You had the Tiesto Friday, like I said, every Friday. We have Avicii the Saturday, and you had Hardwell. So now Hardwell's made his way up to headlining. And you have the same, we have Zed, we have Alesso, Afrojack, Diplo. Now you start seeing Diplo on his own. I remember when Diplo came out, he used to do shows with Craze. I saw him at Revolution years before, like he really blew up. Diplo was always awesome. Always in the suit. Always in the suit. Diplo's great. And then we have a lot of similar people. Paul Van Dyke. Jack U was at the 2014 one, because remember they did that collab. Cairo Man, Carnage, Borgore, Adventure Club, Glitch Mob. Oof, Glitch Mob's awesome. That's sick. Andy C. Chainsmokers pops up at this 2014 one. Kashmir, Infected Mushroom, Empire of the Sun. Also at this one, GTA, DJ Snake, RL Grime, Flostradamus. Love Flostradamus. Love Flostradamus' remixes. If you like hip hop, you'd definitely like this. Super love it. Real trap. Flostradamus is awesome. I have a good trap playlist that I'll post for you guys so you can check out some of these songs. If you're not into EDM and you don't like that kind of vibe of music and you're into hip hop, you'll love trap. And some of them drum and bass beats are really good. And then Riff Raff That's awesome. Afro Beta's from Miami, so they're at multiple ultras. Definitely support Afro Beta. They're awesome. The Martinez brothers, you see them a lot now. They had Sub Focus, Chasing Status. So 2014 was good. 15, Skrillex headlines. He headlines day 3 closing. You still had Tiesto, Avicii, Alesso, Armin van Buuren, Afrojack, Martin Garrix. Now you see Martin Garrix popped up in 2015. One of the youngest DJs. So Martin Garrix is awesome. Knife Party, Nicky Romero, Steve Aoki, Sasha's back. They did Teed, Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs. I love Teed. Their album's good. They've got some good songs. Zed's Dead, Excision, Planet, DJ Icy, Jimmy Page. So we like seeing someone like same kind of people performing at this one. DJ Snake. So it kind of like goes in waves. So Ultra keeps basically, you know, whoever's popular that time, and they kind of same festival, and they kind of switch it up a little bit, and headliners switch a little bit, but you kind of can count on seeing some of the same people at the various festivals. So for the next couple years, I mean, you got Hardwell, Avicii, Zed, David Guetta. It's kind of the same. Robin the Moon comes back, John Digweed. So a lot of similar people that are kind of coming back and forth. Now you see Chami, Slander, Marshmello. Marshmello was all the way at the bottom, 2016. 2017, Major Lazer headlined. They had Alesso, Armin van Buuren, Chami, Don Diablo, Raiden, Robin and the Moon, Kashmir, Carl Cox, That Sick Adventure Club, Slander. That was a pretty good one. 2017 did mix it up a little bit. On that Saturday, they actually had, besides the typical, they had Afrojack, Above and Beyond, Tiesto, Steve Aoki, Dash Berlin, The Prodigy, Chasing Status, Ice Cube. They had Ice Cube, Cypress Hill, and ASAP Ferg were at that ultra. So they did bring in a little bit of hip hop, which is really cool. And of course, Afro Beta from Miami, Sasha and John Digweed, Tale of Us, Martinez Brothers, Nicky Romero, Alan Walker, Laidback Luke, Cedric Gervais, AK1200, DJ Icy. And then day 3 was DJ Snake, David Guetta, Zed, Hardwell, Galantis, Justice, Underworld, Bag Raiders. I like Bag Raiders too. Vinny Vici, we started seeing Vinny Vici now. And they had Ty Dolla $ign. So 2017, they threw in a little bit hip hop. Oh, Axel and Grosso. For 2018, they headlined Chainsmokers, Swedish House Mafia. Those were headliners. Now we see under that DJ Snake, Marshmello, David Guetta. So now Marshmello has already blown up. Hardwell, Afrojack Cascade, Armin van Buuren, man, steady, all the ultras. Tiesto had Sunset Slap, which is what he did at this last ultra. That was awesome. You gotta check out that live. It's so good. Empire of the Sun again, awesome. Cheat Codes, Fisher Spooner. I love Fisher Spooner. Love Fisher Spooner. Great dance music. Gloucester Rez, Nightmare and Slander, Joyride. Joyride's pretty wild. They're good. We have Sub Focus. You have a little more trap, dubstep. 2019 headliners, Marshmello, Martin Garrix, Chainsmokers. So it's kind of cool to see this evolution. You still have Tiesto at that one, Zed, David Guetta, Armin van Buuren. So it's nice. I do like how Ultra has the old artists, and then they also have the newer artists that have come out, and they switch up the lineup, so you're in different slots. Sunset Slot's awesome. I do love that daytime, whoever performs during the daytime. I mean, nighttime's great. You know, sometimes people want that later slot, but I love those daytime ones. It's really, really fun when you get to see your artists and it's sunny out and you're outside, and it's a really good time when it's like that. 2019 had Odessa. Odessa's awesome. So good. Josh Wink again. So you kind of see a lot of guys from the original, which is really cool. They didn't have obviously 2020 and 2021, both Coachella and Ultra did not have music festivals for those years because COVID happened. So they put a little break in that. All right, but let's talk about the most recent one then, just so we can finish a little reminiscence of the old days of Ultra. The most recent Ultra, the 2024, had Fisher and Chris Lake, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, Armin van Buuren. These are like some of the headliners. R.O. Grimes, Sudden Death. Tiesto killed it. This Ultra, they went through a little bit of a mission. The weather was awful. Normally, Miami, it rains in the summer. So summer, every afternoon, you can expect a big storm. And it's usually for an hour or a little bit, and then it just immediately goes away. But summer always rains. March, it doesn't usually rain. I did go to the one Ultra, the 2010 Ultra. It did rain and it was slushy, and I remember buying rain boots for it. I was wearing jeans. I don't think I've ever worn jeans to a music festival. I just found pictures recently. Maybe I'll put them if you see them. But I had jeans on. I had jeans like a shirt. Not even a festival outfit. I think the weather was so bad that I was like, I'm just gonna wear whatever. And I had some rain boots on. It was the best idea though. By far the best idea. Those rain boots, they just wash off. So you don't have to worry about like wet, gross socks or your shoes getting, I mean, who cares about the shoes getting gross because you can wash them, but ugh, to be in wet shoes all day, ooh, that sucks. That's another thing. I take extra socks. If you get a locker, take socks. Trust me, take socks. Take socks and underwear. You never know. Something might happen. You want to change or little shorts or something just in case something happens. You need to change clothes. Hardwell slandered Tiesto. Okay. Hardwell couldn't perform. The weather was so bad Friday. If you watch it, go watch it. Tiesto performs. It's raining. I mean, raining. Rainy. And it's just coming down. And he finishes his whole set. Kills. It was so good. He did old songs in Search of Sunrise. Oh, it was so awesome. It was. I was home watching it. That's how good it was. I wasn't even there. I was watching it at home. And it was such a good show. Such a good show. So definitely check it out. But they had to cancel. For the first time ever, Ultra had to close, and they canceled the rest of the night. Have never done that. They have never, ever, ever done that. And I did hear, I have a friend that works at Ultra, and that it was flooded, which of course I imagine because Miami floods, especially that area, it's right by the water. So that was a little wild. But they made up for it because actually on Saturday, Hardwell couldn't perform, so they had him come out during a sunset session. Absolutely amazing. Hardwell killed it. Excision killed it. Definitely check out that live stream from this past Ultra. It was so good. And so they had a lot of, people from, they had Sasha and John Digweed again, which is really cool because they've been there from the beginning. So this past Ultra definitely had some of those older artists, and then the newer ones. But this past Ultra was awesome. Awesome. I'm excited what they bring for 2025. So we've covered a lot of Ultra. I feel like I've been talking for hours. But it hasn't been hours, but still feels like hours. How does a festival work? Basically, for music festivals, this is the setup in terms of getting your tickets, right? Say like, oh, I'm interested in this festival. So most festivals do tiers of tickets, and they label them different kinds of ways. For example, Ultra and Rolling Loud both do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And so as you go down tiers, they get a little bit more expensive. Tier 1 is going to be the cheapest option, which is usually the earliest option. All right, so EDC has different names instead of using tier 1, tier 2. They have Early Owl, they have Wise Owl, and they have different names for their tiers, but essentially it's the same thing. The earlier you get it, the cheaper the price. Festivals also do where they've got general admission plus, VIP, and then sometimes they have another one. So what does that mean? Because they're like, what's the difference between general admission plus? Could be bathrooms. Sometimes it's just bathrooms where the GA tickets, porta potties, and GA plus, you have the nicer porta potties. And by nicer, I mean the ones that they look like a little trailer. You actually walk in. They have a little bathroom. They have a little sink. So it is nicer if you really care about the bathroom. But if not, whatever. Porta potties. Another suggestion I have is to take toilet paper. Just take a little roll of paper or take tissues. So when I go to festivals, because I've done this for a long time, I like to take a little care pack, and I always have socks, and I usually will take it the first day and then leave it in the locker if you rent a locker. Some people don't want to spend on that, but I to be honest, I like having the locker because any valuables, throw it in there, and then you don't have to worry. Do you know how many people lose their phones? If you check at the festivals, some of them have lost and founds after, and they post everything that people lose. phones, wallets, jewelry. I mean, so much stuff. My suggestion is to get a locker and put whatever valuables. If you took your house keys, your car keys, your wallet, whatever, that if you lose, it will be a big mission for you. Just put it in the locker. So usually what we do if we need to buy something, we go to the locker, we get the card or cash, but most of these places it's card. Or if you have it now on your phone, unless you're putting your phone in the locker, which I've done that too, just in case, but it really saves you. So essential items that you want to pack to make your festival experience a little bit better would be socks, underwear, maybe if you can fit it, an outfit. Now ladies, I know you're going, with your outfit, but just in case something happens, like you get a little pair of extra shorts. I don't know, it might rain, you might sit somewhere and like say you sit and you're gonna eat something and you sit on something, or you get to whatever it is, you could just have extra clothes, you'll feel better. I take wipies and tissues, and sometimes I'll do hand wipies, right? Make sure you check, because some of them are not to clean yourself when you go to the bathroom. Be careful for those sanitizing wipes. Some of them are not for the bum so don't use those. But I'll take regular wipies, for the bathroom, and then I'll have like little hand sanitizing wipes too, and those I usually keep. I'll have a fanny pack. You do clear fanny pack, and so I'll keep those with me. Chapstick, sunblock, and then I'll make a list. I gotta make a good list for you guys and post like the care pack, the essentials that you need for festivals. But for sure, socks, underwear, wipies, tissue. I like to, and ladies, if you have makeup, you want to take a little makeup, you can leave it there. I know they're not air conditioned, so it is hot depending on what time of year and where you're going for your festival. So whatever you leave in there. Oh, deodorant. I definitely take deodorant. And then I always check the list of what you're allowed to bring for festival items. But something to like little soap or whatever, and then that way if you are using the porta potty, you're not like, oh, whatever, if they don't have paper or something, you don't really care because you have your own paper and you have a little soap. And I always wash my hands a lot because the festivals, it can get gross. Going back to the ticket sales, they do those tiers, so I do know that Ultra is about to do tier 2. For those, you don't typically know the lineup. So for example, Rolling Loud went on sale for Miami. They're doing it this year in December. It's the first year they're doing December. The last couple of years, July. Prior to COVID, they were doing it in May. And I went back in 19, and then I did 2021. So Rolling Loud did do 2021. Coachella and Ultra did not. They took 2 years off after COVID. Rolling Loud did not do 2020, but they did bring it back 2021. And then I went also 2023. So I tend to do every other year for Rolling Loud. So I don't believe I'm going this year unless when they do post that lineup, Cuddy's performing, and then I might go. Cuddy's, he's one of my favorites. That's basically the rules for the tickets. The earlier you get them, the cheaper you get them. You can sign up to their email list. They'll notify you way ahead of time when those tickets are going on sale. Before it used to be hard sometimes. I remember one Ultra I didn't even get to go to because, it was crazy. They all went on sale at the same time. And then that was back when sites would crash because you have too many people going in to buy tickets. Hence why now Ticketmaster does that queue. If you ever wonder, like, why am I in a queue waiting for the tickets? It's because some artists are so popular that if they just drop it and everybody goes in, the whole system kind of goes berserk. So they did create that queue. If you've gone the year before or other years, you for sure get notified right away because you're kind of like VIP because you've already supported the festival. So if you've been, like for example, I was at Rolling Loud last year, so I got the email with the code to get tickets early. You will definitely be able to get tickets. It's not as hard as it was before, especially for those events because it's a lot of people that can go. Concerts, sometimes they sell out faster, but those events can hold so many people that you can, if you get there in time, for sure that you can get tickets to the event. I know we talked a lot of just Ultra, and I did want to talk a little bit about the other festivals. Coachella started in 99. Coachella, their lineup is a little bit different than Ultra because it does vary. For example, just to kind of touch a little bit about it. Coachella's first year, they had Beck, Rage Against the Machine, Tool, Chemical Brothers, Perry Farrell. So you see some similar people as Ultra, Underworld, Moby, Gus Gus. So, but they had some rock and they had some different artists, right? And then through the years, it kind of changes. Bjork, Oasis, Beastie Boys, Chili Peppers. I'm reading off the headliners. Coldplay, Nine Inch Nails. Oh, I love Nine Inch Nails. Depeche Mode, Daft Punk, Franz Ferdinand. They've had Block Party. Yes, Paul Oakenfold. You kind of see some similar, some different. They've had Prince. Coachella had Prince in 2008. Just for a second. Amazing. Roger Waters. Portishead, Kraftwerk, Death Cab for Cutie. And they've had Paul McCartney, The Killers, The Cure, Kanye, Kings of Leon, The Strokes. Arcade Fire, Animal Collective, Bright Eyes. I'm also naming all the people I like, but these are headliners. Black Keys, Radiohead, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. So as you see, Coachella has a big mix. Outkast, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. That must have been a great Coachella. What year was that? 2018. That wasn't that far. I have not been to Coachella. I definitely would want to go, but I have not gone. This year, I did see the live stream. No Doubt killed it. They haven't performed in like 9 years. It's so good. I saw No Doubt on tour. It was probably the last tour they did, actually, to be honest, if I did the math. It's been 9 years. Killed it. Juvenile came out and did he did. You got to check it out. I don't even want to say it. You just got to check it out. You got to check it out. I'll definitely put it in the link so you guys can see if you're fans of Juvie. What else? So yeah, Coachella is basically a big mix. EDC is a little more like Ultra. They've got way more EDM artists, and that's primarily their focus. I'll definitely do an episode about EDC. I haven't gone to EDC either, so I don't have that personal experience, but I'll do some research and just check it out. EDC is a lot, let's see how to say, it's a little bit different. They have this thing where you can make totems, you have signs. I feel like people dress up a little bit more for this one. They have rides. It's very immersive, but EDC it seems like it's awesome. They have it in Orlando. They have it in Vegas. I'll probably go to the Vegas one at some point, and then once I do that, then for sure you guys will get like a little backstory of what EDC is really like. For Ultra, going to the event, I mean, it's pretty similar for all festivals. Whatever artists you want to see, get there early because you have to, park. Parking's always depends on where you're going, where you're going to park. Ultra is downtown, so basically like the Kasai Center, you can park in downtown, you can take an Uber, you can take the metro. It's kind of the same spiel that I did in that other podcast if you want to check it out. The podcasts I did the little chapters. So say you just want to skip ahead, you're like, I don't want to listen to all this and I just want to hear this part, or like she said something about this, so let me go check it out. If you look at the bottom, it's gonna have the little names and I've named them. And then on your YouTube page to the right, you should be able to see those chapters, and then you can just click. So you're like, oh wait, I need to go park. I'm going to this event at this place. I remember Natasha talked about, such and such place and parking. Go to the episode because it will say like, Kasai Center, Hard Rock Live, where do you park? And then just go to the chapters, and then you can kind of click in and see what info is there for parking to help you guys out. And then that way you can sift through the podcast if you're looking for specific information. I'll try to actually start putting it too in the description because that would help as well. And like little links to Hard Rock or Kasai Center or like the, Coachella or whatever. And then that way you guys can come to my page. And if you need any info on stuff, eventually I'll set up a website. But for right now, you can just use the YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, you can just put it in the little comments and I'll get back to you guys because I'm running everything, so I'll see it, and then I can answer if you have questions about a specific spot. Let's see, we did EDC, I did all Ultra history, we did a little bit of Rolling Loud. That one I'll get into, we'll do another episode of that because I've been to multiple, so that one's another one like Ultra that I know very well. And then Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland's another festival. This one looks good, but Tomorrowland started a little bit later, 2005, so it's not as early as Ultra and EDC. But Tomorrowland is sick. Their setup, I've also watched their live stream. Tomorrowland takes place in Belgium, but they have expanded, and so they have it in different areas now. So I have seen a few of those live streams, and Tomorrowland's awesome. Definitely want to check that out. just some other festivals that I got a little bit of info about that I'm just gonna list for you guys. And then I said earlier, I'm going to try to throw up pictures. So hopefully you see little pictures. It's not you're gonna see me dancing, but hopefully you'll see pictures of these festivals so you see the little flyers. Cause I like the visuals, but I don't know what, YouTube sometimes some stuff. I can't put music. I wish, because we would be jamming to music right now. But I can't. So we'll just basically have the playlists, which are great. And eventually I'll come up with some mixes and see what platforms we put it on. But for right now, it'll be Spotify and YouTube. Okay. What else is left for our festival list? These are upcoming ones. I got an email from, Front Gate Tickets. Front Gate Tickets does a lot of the festival passes. They do Rolling Loud. Let's list all of the upcoming festivals that we have. Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza happens in Chicago. I know that one's good. I have friends that have gone to that festival. And that is a big mix. Like, for example, they're doing this year, it's in August 1st to 4th. I think it's typically in August. And they got Tyler, the Creator, Stray Kids, Killers, Future, Metro Boomin. They're on tour right now, by the way, Future, Metro Boomin. So if you're a fan, Future's good. I've seen both of them. Blink 182, and Skrillex. They've got like a pretty good lineup. All right, there's one in the Hamptons in June. Swedish House Mafia, Sophie Tucker, okay. This one I kind of love. This is in Minnesota. Let me see. It says Minnesota Yacht Club, and it happens in July, and it's 2 days, and it's Gwen Stefani, Alanis Morissette, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Offspring, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Wow. This is a cool little festival. There's a lot of festivals, guys. There's a lot. Let me just kind of see if I can go a little faster here. There's Pilgrimage in Franklin, Tennessee. There's Bottle Rock in Napa Valley. Wow, Pearl Jam, Mana, Ed Sheeran, Queens of the Stone Age, Stevie Nicks, Megan Thee Stallion. What a mix that one is. There's Sonic Temple. That's happening in Columbus, Ohio. That one's a little more hard rock. You got Slipknot, Misfits, Disturbed, Pantera, Evanescence, Limp Bizkit, Judas Priest. Limp Bizkit's killing it right now. I don't know if you guys have seen videos of their performances right now, but oh my God. There's so many shows. There's a Smoke Slam, which... it's food too. That's yummy. Barbecue and stuff. There's a Riverfront Festival that's in Charleston, South Carolina. Hootie and the Blowfish. All right. We got EDC Orlando that happens in November. Let's see. There's another one in Chicago with NASCAR. That's Keith Urban, Chainsmokers, Black Keys. There's a lot of stuff coming up this summer, guys. There's a lot. And then that was basically just like festivals, not actual concerts. There's a lot of events. I actually have tickets to a bunch of comedy shows coming up right now. So if you guys like comedy, at least coming to Florida, I'm seeing just, what I got tickets for, because they're coming, and I don't think that they're sold out yet. There's Jim Jeffries is in May. We got Bert Kreischer with his Fully Loaded tour is coming in June. And these are on Saturdays, which is nice, if you guys work and stuff, you want like a Saturday event. September, checking out Mark Norman, another comedian. So there's some cool shows coming out. There's a bunch of other concerts that are happening at the West Palm Amphitheater, at the Hard Rock Live. There's tons of shows. The Kasai's got tons of shows. So I'm also sure in your cities, guys, that a lot of these are on tour. For sure, Bert Fully Loaded, check it out, because he's got a nice lineup. Like Mark Norman, Shane Gillis, Tony Hinchcliffe, Christina P. So check out Bird's tour, because he's got a bunch of cool people. And then I wanted to talk about UFC, but we're going to have to do that in another podcast. But if you guys saw UFC 300 just happen, oh my God. And did you see Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje fight? What? I love UFC too, so I could totally do a whole other thing on that. But we're going to cut this one because I think we've been here for a while. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If there's anything that you guys want to talk about, or questions or events or anything like that, I'm pretty much just doing live events, and it can include anything. So a lot of focus on music, but I do love comedy. So doing comedy, and then we could talk UFC fights or boxing if there's anything coming up right now. Basketball is big right now. There's like a lot of stuff in the world of live events. The next one, I'm actually going to be going to Vegas, so you will get a review on the Sphere. I'm really excited. I got tickets for that, so we're going to check out the Sphere, and I'll let you guys know how that is. It's one of those Planet videos. No concerts. There's no concert when I'm going, but it still should be super, super cool. So I'll let you guys know how that is. But I hope you enjoyed it and you got a little history of Ultra and all the cool DJs that have been there from the beginning and the newer ones and who's been headlining, the stages, and any kind of cool stuff that you guys got from the podcast. Thank you all for tuning in to Music Makes Me Dance. My name is Natasha. I really appreciate you guys tuning into these podcasts. I hope they're informative for you. Any questions, let me know. I'll put it in the next one. And there's so much stuff I always want to talk about, so I'll probably come out with a new one a little sooner. Do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe. This is Music Makes Me Dance. I'm Natasha. Thank you guys. Till next time. Bye.